Welcome to this video about exploring and risk assessing pupils who may be at risk of EBSA, part 1 of 3. Overview. How can we gather information about a pupil to understand their risks of EBSA? It is important to acknowledge that there is no single right approach, given the many variables for each individual pupil, school, and family. In this video, we will focus briefly on the various key aspects of this work and examples of how to carry it out, particularly with the pupils themselves. Working towards a formulation. Following the gathering of information from the pupil, their parents, carers, and involved professionals, it is important that sense is made of it. In other words, an overview of various factors regarding the functions of particular behaviours are established. Potential hypotheses regarding the EBSA, known as formulations, are formed and documented. These formulations should then inform the support plan, including class-based approaches, wraparound and self-care strategies, plus more substantial interventions if required. Adopting a systemic perspective. It is important to consider how systemic factors may be influencing the pupil. A range of underlying, intertwined, causal factors may be promoting and or maintaining EBSA across the systems in the pupil's life, especially in their immediate social environments, for example, family, home, peers, and school. These systems can affect one another, affecting avoidance thoughts and behaviours. The diverse range of influences that may exist across the pupil's systems are often referred to in the literature as risk and protective factors. Risk factors are influencing factors that reduce the likelihood of the pupil engaging in school. Protective factors are influencing factors that increase the likelihood of the pupil engaging in school. Risk factors and protective factors are likely to be present across systems, and the balance between these factors is likely to fluctuate. Protective factors, the pupil. The pupil's protective factors might include, for example, their character strengths, abilities, skills and talents, interests, aspirations for the future, relationships with peers, and motivation for change. Protective factors, the family. Protective factors within the family might include, for example, positive relationships that exist in the family, immediate and extended, parent-carer willingness to work with the school and any other involved professionals, the parents-carer's positive parenting skills, and the parent-carer's understanding of their child and knowledge of how to best respond to their needs and feelings. Protective factors, the school. Protective factors within the school might include, for example, positive relationships that the pupil has with some identified members of staff, a rich, broad curriculum and extracurricular offer, which includes a range of interesting and enjoyable activities, and strong pastoral care and safeguarding systems, including swift and restorative approaches to any incidents of bullying or discrimination. It's important to consider, do we have these protective factors in place in our school? There are many potential protective factors that can be developed. Risk factors, the pupil. The pupil's risk factors might include, for example, physical illness, fear of failure and poor self-confidence, their age around key transition points, 5 to 6, 11 to 12, and 13 to 14 years, a temperamental style, reluctance to interact and withdraw from unfamiliar settings, people or objects, experienced traumatic events, possible separation anxiety from parent, learning or developmental difficulties, and social communication difficulties or diagnosed autism, including associated sensory difficulties. Risk factors, the family. Risk factors within the family might include, for example, youngest child in the family, separation or divorce or another change in the family dynamic, parent-carer experiences of physical and mental health problems, dysfunctional family interactions, for example, possible overprotective parenting style, loss and bereavement, family history of school attendance problems, high levels of family stress, and pupil as a young carer or being cared for by a sibling. Risk factors, the school. Risk factors within the school that might apply to the pupil include bullying or discrimination in any form, difficulties in specific subjects and or with specific teachers or support staff, the structure of the school day and rules, routines and expectations, academic demands, especially around performance-orientated lessons, including homework, transport or the journey to school, tests and exams, parts of the school environment, possibly in combination with times of the day, for example toilets, corridors, etc., and peer or staff relationship difficulties. Relationships between and with adults. It's important to recognise that relationships between parents and school staff can impact on EBSA, depending on how well people are working together. A pupil's anxious feelings and behaviours are often in response to and interact with the actions and feelings of the adults they spend most time with. It is therefore important, when supporting pupils at risk of EBSA, that we make sure that we stay calm and contained, with clear boundaries in place. This will help to co-regulate with the pupil and hopefully help them to generate more resiliency to manage their anxieties. Avoiding a cycle of blame and shame. This simple diagram below provides an example of a negative cycle with features of unhelpful relationships between adults, which would increase the systemic risk factors of EBSA. This is the end of this video. Parts 2 and 3 on this topic are now available to watch. You can view more videos on this channel in the EBSA Essentials series.